Well, this is something that we've been hearing about for the past week or so. It's been popping up on social media. It is called the Cold Water Challenge, and it has really good intentions. First of all, though, I want to introduce Commander Sean Cross with the U.S. Coast Guard out of Air Station Traverse City. Thank you for being here.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, Commander Cross, this is a cold water challenge with good intentions. People basically are challenged to jump in the icy lakes around the area, or they can donate money to a charity. So it sounds like a really great challenge.
Very noble motivations, just a very unsafe act at this time of the year. Right now, the water temperatures are still very cold, down in the 30s, and we train all year round in the waters around the Great Lakes, and they're still cold, and they're still killing people. And what the parts that I don't think people understand is, first, the Coast Guard doesn't have any rules against doing this. Our bottom line is we want to keep the people of the Great Lakes safe. We want to protect life on the water, and obviously this involves the water. So what we're saying is, if you're going to go do this, there are some precautions you can take. If you go to a real polar plunge, for instance, there's doctors immediately available, there's warm clothing, ways to drive off immediately, there's usually ambulances ready in case you have some sort of hypothermic episode.
Right.
When you do this in your backyard or down at the open space, none of that exists. So what we're saying is, first of all, go with a bunch of people. Don't do this on your own. Don't set up your iPhone on the side to tape you. Go with a bunch of people. Go someplace that you know where you're aware of the water. Don't jump into a place you're not familiar with. There's a lot of submerged objects right now after the rough winter we've had. Tree stumps, tree trunks have been pulled in the water. You don't know what's under the water. A majority of the injuries we've seen with this have been with people diving in head first, striking something under the water. And there's two other issues that we're really worried about. First is the gasp reflex. Whenever your body comes in contact with extremely cold water, you have an immediate gasp reflex, kind of like when the doctor hits your knee with a hammer and your leg pops up. Well, you can't control that, and if that happens while you happen to have your head underwater, you can ingest water, and that's the other place that we've seen several of these injuries or drowning type incidents. So again, at the end of the day, we just want everybody to come home safe. In the Coast Guard, when we launch our helicopters or go out on missions, we talk about risk versus gain. And nobody has been able to articulate the gain of this concept to me, but there's a whole lot of risk involved in what these children and adults are doing. And we're just trying to shed some light that no one goes out during the summer with the intent to not come home, but that happens a lot. And again, I don't think anyone sees this as a really dangerous activity, but we're seeing people who go do this and aren't coming home or are coming home injured or have a bad day because of it.
And I think you bring up excellent points, information that I think people need to know before they decide to take this challenge on. Commander Cross, thank you again. We appreciate you being here so early and really breaking all of this down for us.
No, I appreciate you getting our message out. And again, we just ask people, go with a bunch of people if you're going to do this. Make sure you've got the right equipment and the right clothing and protection, that once you get out of the water, you can get warm quick and that this ends well.
Absolutely, definitely safety is the priority. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.